where I make all of my videos from is from this template that I made for myself. I'm not going to share it because it's mine, but yeah. So basically what I did to make this template, actually I'm going to go ahead and make a copy of it, because I don't want to mess with this one, and then we can use that. So hold on a second while that loads. So I'm going to take it apart so you guys can see what I'm doing. Once this loads, I will warn you that my Firefox thing is really laggy, so this might lag a bit. So if that does happen, I'm going to jump to another section. But yeah, so basically what I did is I made this from scratch. So it's literally just like if you do a duplicate slide or like a new slide, it's literally just a default like one that shows up when you first make like a Google slide. But I just basically what I did was delete this. And then what I did was I added like a shape. So I went to shapes and I did a square, and I basically just dragged this. This is made in like 5 seconds, by the way, so this might look kind of bad. So then you just kind of like adjust this to the outside. This is where you're gonna put your pictures. So you want to make it kind of big, but I think the lyrics are more important than the pictures, so that's why I have lots of room for lyrics instead of pictures. So then you have your little thingy. And what I would do, you can change the color. So you change the color of it if you want. Ooh, that one's kind of ugly. Hold on. Let's do green. I usually do this is the same. Then just have a solid picture. Then you can do a line. But what I did is I actually just did a small, like, really skinny rectangle because I find that a lot easier to work with. So you're going to take that and just kind of go across the screen like this. And there you have that. I know mine's not exact, but since this is just for tutorial purposes, I'm not going to do it. So then what I did is I just did this, and then I usually do the outline color, the darkest one of whatever's on that row. It's going to look like that. So then, yeah. So then you're going to go, where was I? Sorry, what am I doing? Oh, so something that I think looks nice is going here and clicking on format options. And what I do is I do drop shadow, I make it at least, well actually no, I like the little bit of transparency, and I add a lot of blur radius, and stuff. It just gives your thing look like it has a little bit of depth to it. Oops. So then what you're going to want to do is take this and send it all the way to the front. I guess it already is all the way to the front, but normally you'd say bring to front after you've loaded everything. So that's basically it for the background. I don't really do anything fancy. If I do decide to edit the background, I add it in shapes using these, and then but like you don't have to do that if you're doing a simple one. So then for the next part, to get these, basically I just made 3 separate text boxes. I start from here, like for instance we'll do the first one. Center it, make the text, I think I do like size 26 or something like that. And then this is where my JP text is going to go, Japanese text, or Korean text, or Chinese text, or whatever the original non-romanized is, if you're planning on doing that. Do the same thing here. I usually make the romanized one the biggest, because since this is a Western people-oriented video, like they're probably not going to know like Japanese, like the actual characters. So it's going to be that, and then the last one is the translation. So then I usually make that one a little bit bigger than the Japanese one, just so it's easier to read, but not as big as the Romaji one, the romanized one. Yeah, so that's basically it. Oh, and then one other thing. So for the Japanese section, you're going to want to pick a font through this that already has like Japanese stuff built in. So you're going to want to scroll down here, pick Japanese. I just went ahead and added all of these. Oh my gosh, if you're doing Korean, you want to scroll down to Korean, obviously, and pick all the fonts here. So that way you get some like nice looking fonts, and you're just going to want to change that and then add that to your template so you have that permanently. You can change it later. So that's basically how you do that. So then once you're done with that, what I usually do is you need to find like a picture, right? So we're going to go to this wonderful page because I don't have Photoshop. So go to this and hit this button. I'll put this link in the description. Hit this button. Wait for it to load. Yeah, so then you're just going to like pick a photo. We're going to use, I'm looking through my photos right now, sorry. Let's use, I'm sorry. I'm trying to find like an easy picture to use. I have to have something with more than one person. Okay, we'll use this picture of Ushiro Gami Hikaretai, for example. So you're going to find like a nice quality picture. If you're not doing 80s people like I do, it's probably going to be a lot easier. So here's what I do. Basically, I go here. Let's crop this nice picture of Shizuka out. Hit crop image. And you don't have to do this, but I really like this effect for the remove background because it makes everything nice and transparent. So go ahead and hit apply. Go ahead and download that. I usually name the thing just because like it's easier. Don't know. Make sure to save it as a PNG. Okay, so I downloaded it. So unfortunately with this app, you have to like, oh my gosh, the recording thing's like right in the way. I think it's this, hold on. But yeah, so with this app, you have to like upload the same photo like a million times. Hold on a second, where's the, I have to find the picture. Just for the sake of time, I'm not going to crop everybody, so we'll just do Shizuka and Akiko in the middle. Because I don't feel like, I'm just doing this as an example, like it's not an actual song. Excuse me. So then, save that, and go back here, and you're going to want to hit insert. I know you guys can't see this, but then you're just going to upload the pictures you just made. So here's our lovely photos. Shizuka, Akiko. So then what I do is I just go and resize these to fit up here. Sometimes you might want to crop them. I'm probably going to use these pictures in a video eventually because they're really nice. But for now, for tutorial purposes, yeah. So then, let's make this one up. You're just going to want to like resize it the best you can. Sometimes they need further adjusting, but for these, for the sake of tutorial, we're just going to leave it like that. Let's move this one up a little bit. So then what I do, once I get all the pictures aligned the way I want, I take this and I bring it to the front. So that way it covers up any like thingies. So yeah, so that's basically that for that section. So then now it's time to work on like the slide. You're going to want to make sure before you start anything else to have this completely done, because you're just going to be duplicating this slide a million times. So go ahead and make your little text box thingy for your first person. Usually if the pictures are all the same size, that's ideal. Center this. Then what I usually do is I use this section and I change the color to be either white. Yeah, we're going to make it white this time. So take this, make it white, turn drop shadow on, and then just pick like a random color that you're going to use to represent this person. If you're doing like a color-coded version, but it's still helpful to do even if you're not. I turn the transparency all the way down, blur radius fairly down so it's still visible, and then basically just make that bigger, up a bit so you can see it, and then pick like a font. Let's use that one's kind of hard to see. Oh, too big. Okay, perfect. And I usually make the distance a little farther just so you can actually see like the color. So then you're going to copy and paste that and move it to the next person. Try to align it with the photo as best you can. And then change the color here. Let's change it to blue. Actually, we can't really see that because of her shirt, so I'll change it to pink. So yeah, then you just do that with basically every, sorry, that was my chair squeaking, with every person that you want to use. So then that should be good. So that looks pretty good. I'm not going to add any decorations this time because it's a tutorial. So that looks good. So you're going to want to keep it like that and do not edit this at all. So just hope it looks good. Next, you're going to want to find like a place that has like, all of the lyrics. This is the one that I use. So I usually just pick from one of these. So let's do, we could do Katatsumuri Samba, for example. Again, this is not an actual, like I'm not actually making this video. So you can do, what I do is start with like the first one. So we take the Japanese text, whoops, we don't need these anymore. Paste it here. Make sure you change that font to something appropriate. Probably fine. Take a fun Romaji font. I usually make the Romaji font and it's the same. I usually try to make them readable, but again, just for the translation thing. So then you find that. Paste this. And then find whatever your English translation is. So this is like, I can just tell what this means. Okay, so let's say theoretically that Akiko is singing this part and Shizuka is not. So what you're going to want to do to get that effect, you can actually don't have to edit these images single-handedly, as I found out, which is really nice. So basically what you're going to want to do is click on that picture of Akiko. Click on the picture of Shizuka, the person who's not singing. And go to adjustments. Go to recolor. And click on that. Easy as that. You can just do that for like everybody using control. So like if you want to make them both like that, then you can change it. But since we're not doing that, I'm just going to leave Akiko alone. And we're going to change this to her color that we designated. Oh, not that, my bad. Sorry, I always make that mistake. So there you go. So now everybody knows that Akiko is singing. So then if you want to make another slide, you're going to duplicate the slide. And just basically do the same thing for every line. So let's say Shizuka is singing this one. So you're going to take this, hit hit first one, no recolor, change this to red. There you go. So then between the two, it looks like that. And let me change the translation. This is Onyanko, so something like the 7-colored rainbow kaleidoscope. That's a really stupid translation, but that's just off the top of my head. So cut me some slack, guys. So then basically you're just gonna do that, and then you go to both singing. Just hit no recolor, and I usually just make it black. So like, and also you're gonna want to change these. I'm just lazy, don't feel like doing it. I have no idea what these tamariwa is. It's something like small water is. I don't know what Mari is. Whoops. But I'm just making this up. So yeah. But anyway, so that's what's gonna look like. So what I do is I generally just kind of go and scroll down through mine to make sure everything looks right. I listen to the song and like proofread it. So then when you're finished, and then you're gonna get the first page of your project, which of course the first page of this project is my actual template that I use for my videos. So we're gonna skip these. So you can start with something like this. And what I do, I mean, one option is to download all of your pictures and, you know, just kind of individually like go through and put them in an editing software and like do it that way. But I actually find it a lot easier to just do it as a PowerPoint. So like what I usually do at this point is I hit record and I make sure that everything's synced up and just start recording. So for example, I'm not going to use the actual song. I barely even know the song, so but I'll just do an example for you. So if you know the song really well, go ahead and just use the back and forth keys stuff to like do your song. I just think it's much easier that way. So here's an example. Switch to this page. This will be the title page. Then when it's time to sing, you go. 雨上がり晴れた空に七色の虹の万華鏡小さな水たまりは And then you'd go to your next slide if you were still going. And you would just basically do that through the entire video. Then you stop recording. And then what I do is I go into Windows Movie Maker because that's all I have. And I had to get a cracked version of it because they don't support it anymore. So I have no idea how to do that because I did it years ago, unfortunately. But iMovie would work just as well. And I go back in and I get the MP3 of the song that I have, or the whatever RIP format I have of the disc. And then you just align that with the already synced video, and then you just save it as one video. And that's it. That's literally how I do it. I've made videos in, like, about the average time it takes for me to make videos from start to finish, if I know the song really well, is like less than 2 hours. It depends on how complex the chorus is, how many pictures you need, and stuff like that, because that can take a long time. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoy. I hope this made everything easy for you. If you have any questions, you can always feel free to ask me. But yeah, let's stop gatekeeping, knowing how to make these videos, because they're